It is the 9th of July 2026. We're coming to you live from the Now Avenue. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda, and welcome to UBC News Tonight. Today with me, Sharon Kyomugisha, alongside Mugalu Mohammed. On sign languages, Museveni in Kaweweta, Uganda returnees from South Africa, amongst more stories, just like we're about to watch on the headlines. Tonight, Museveni urges discipline as UPDF passes out thousands of new soldiers. Government moves to fast-track national IDs for repatriated Ugandans from South Africa. And later on in our bulletin, Mwanga Chivumbi granted bail after court finds he presented substantial sureties. With more from Parliament debates, local council elections as government rules out registration extension. In our top stories of the day, over 700 returnees from South Africa are undergoing rehabilitation, counseling and reintegration into Uganda's socio-economic and political environment is one of the stories that we'll have in our bulletin. But first of all, we start off with Uganda's newest soldiers who have been urged to uphold discipline, patriotism and professionalism in protecting the nation. The call came as President Yoweri Museveni passed out over 10,000 UPDF recruits from 5 military training schools. The President and the Chief of Defense Forces also emphasized health, service delivery and responsible leadership ahead of the LC1 elections.
The skies were lit, the ground was ready, and the soldiers were smart. Armed with physical, mental and intellectual capacity, they displayed what was expected of them: resilience, endurance, and readiness for service.
So for me, the passing out is more than an addition of new personnel to the Uganda People's Defense Force. It's a reminder that Uganda's future depends not only on a stronger defense force, but on one that is professional, on one that is disciplined, on one that is technologically sophisticated, and one that is firmly committed to protecting the lives and the property of every Ugandan.
This is what both the President and the Chief of Defense Forces were here to witness as they marched in both slow and quick march. It was obvious they were ready for service.
Whether in the scorching heat or the chilling rain, has shaped your character and tested your ability to withstand harsh conditions. During these weeks, you learned not only how to operate a weapon or navigate a jungle, you learned the true meaning of teamwork and patriotism.
Your achievement today stands as a statement to your unwavering determination and dedication. I congratulate you on realizing your dream of becoming soldiers.
With such readiness, Uganda's security and that of its neighbors will continue to be upheld as alluded to by the Chief of Defense Forces.
In Eastern DRC, despite the outbreak of the Ebola epidemic, our gallant troops, while observing strict Ebola SOPs, have continued to dominate the area of operation and apply unceasing pressure on ADF terrorists still scattered in North Kivu and Ituri regions. In South Sudan, the situation is much more stable than it was 16 months ago when the UPDF deployed there.
Such passion for service is what enabled the country to go through a recently conducted election successfully, to which the CDF congratulated the President.
Uganda is peaceful, secure, and thriving. However, what is also true is that we are having to deal with a fifth column of neo-colonialist sympathizers and agents of foreign interests who are intent on sabotaging our national independence and development.
Continued extension of such service will require good health, something which the President agreed with the CDF.
Take care of your lives and maintain your medical and physical fitness. Secondly, uphold the values of discipline, courage, and loyalty. Third, always cultivate the warrior spirit and warrior ethos. We are just beginning.
Vous avez commencé maintenant.
The future is very bright.
Le futur est brillant. Le futur est brillant.
If you keep your discipline,
Si vous conservez votre discipline,
look after your health,
vous continuez à être en bonne santé,
no corruption,
pas de corruption,
and also
et aussi
develop professionally.
President Yoweri Museveni reiterated his message against laxity in service delivery and wealth creation quests.
Strong economy and modern.
nous voudrons une économie forte et moderne
In the four sectors:
dans les 4 secteurs.
commercial, agriculture,
L'agriculture commerciale,
manufacturing,
le manufacturing, la fabrication aussi,
services,
les services
and ICT.
et le ICT. Ça,
Because you cannot have a strong army if you don't have a strong economy.
The President also seized the occasion to rally Ugandans behind voting leaders of integrity in the upcoming village local council elections.
The wananchi are going to vote to elect in the LC1s
les wananchi, vous allez faire le scrutin
and the women councils.
et les autres.
So elect leaders who will help you to fight corruption.
Faites l'élection avec le peuple qui vont vous aider à combattre la corruption.
Olukiiko olw'omubyalo mulonda abakulembeze abanayamba okulwanyisa enguzi.
Over 10,000 soldiers have been passed out from 5 different military training schools. Henry Okrut, UBC, here in Kaweweta.
Thank you so much, Henry Okrut, for the updates. In more stories, over 700 returnees from South Africa are undergoing rehabilitation, counseling and reintegration into Uganda's social, economic and political environment at the National Leadership Institution in Chankwanzi before they're united with their families. The government has commenced the registration and issuance of national IDs to Ugandans recently repatriated from South Africa as part of a comprehensive program to facilitate their reintegration into society following their return from xenophobic violence.
The exercise is being conducted by the National Identification and Registration Authority NIRA at the National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi. The exercise targets more than 700 Ugandans who have returned home since last Friday under the government-led evacuation program. The Commissioner of the National Secretariat for Patriotism Corps, Ms. Helen Seku, said bringing NIRA services directly to the rehabilitation center was a deliberate intervention to ensure that none of the returnees is excluded from accessing government services.
Since you're our visitors and you're newcomers, we have to welcome you with everything on to find you where you are, and we thank them for being cooperative. The following day we saw NIRA department here, even new RSBs here. These people of companies, phones and what they are here registering them. So to really simplify their life and yes, make them suit in society. You know, right now in Uganda, without a national ID, it's very difficult to access certain services. And we don't want them to be limited. We want them to access every service that every Ugandan accesses. Okay. So it is handy for NIRA to be here so that we get proper documentation of our people.
The senior registration officer at NIRA, Captain Darius Turiahikayo, said the registration exercise has progressed smoothly since it began earlier this week at the center.
Comrades who have returned, we have so far done 410, inclusive of adults above 18, both male and female, and children, because, you know, as NERA, we are supposed to register everyone from 0 years, and we are trying to encourage registration of babies, of children. So we took up that chance also to register the children who have come. The process is very seamless, and they have been so cooperative.
He assured the returnees that all eligible applicants would receive their national identity cards before leaving Chankwanzi.
And we promise that even the last batch of the IDs will be issued before each one leaves this premise. That is a promise which was made by the ED, and we have to fulfill the promise.
According to Seku, the objective is to ensure that the returnees leave Chankwanzi equipped with knowledge, skills and information that will enable them to earn sustainable livelihoods instead of seeking opportunities abroad under difficult circumstances.
We brought them to Chankwanzi to ideologically align them and show them that government is not their enemy, but it's an entity willing to work with them and make their lives better. That's why you see on our programs we have brought different speakers, like the PDM. How should they benefit from PDM as returnees? We have also brought a Myoga group. They've already talked to them. We have brought local government, the opportunities in the communities. How should they tap into the different government programs to make wealth, to make money? You know, it's always good to be gumite.
She noted that many of the returnees arrived at the institute emotionally distressed after losing businesses, employment, and property during the attacks in South Africa. Musician Bire Katumba, popularly known as Kasode, said the rehabilitation program had given many returnees hope after the traumatic experiences they endured in South Africa.
Kuba mwaka fananyi wali wazze talina muntu gwamanyi talina gwajjukira nti oba alina communication naye bamutadde Butesco airport ng'alina kufuna ntambula emuzza gy'alina okugenda. Tomanyi na gy'ogenda wafaanana watya, tomanyi na gy'ogenda mu mbeera ki eriyo, olaba nga oba oli awo obuzibu twali bufunye. Oluvannyuma lw'okutuleeta wano nalaba nga oba oli awo.
Very good to see many of them return, and that the government is doing all it's supposed to do to make sure that they settle back into society. The International Crimes Division of the High Court has granted bail to former Butambala County Member of Parliament Mwanga Chivumbi on a cash bail of 10 million Ugandan shillings. The court found that the applicants had presented substantial sureties and that Mwanga was unlikely to interfere with ongoing investigations if released. However, 6 of the 23 accused persons were denied bail after failing to present sureties that were found substantive.
Particular accused persons.
Following the arrest of the former Butambala County Member of Parliament, Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi, and 22 co-accused on charges of terrorism, the accused applied for bail before Justice Susan Okalanyi at the International Crimes Division of High Court in Kampala. Prosecution opposed the application, arguing that the accused are likely to interfere with the ongoing investigations, that the charges against them are grave, and that their release would pose a threat to the public safety. After considering submissions from both sides, Justice Susan Okalanyi granted Mwanga Chivumbi a cash bail of 10 million, while his co-accused were each granted cash bail of 1 million.
Each of the remaining applicants shall execute a cash bond of Uganda shillings 1 million. For Mr. Chivumbi, 10 million shillings. For each surety, a non-cash bond of Uganda shillings 5 million shillings.
In her ruling, Justice Okalanyi held that the successful applicants have presented substantial sureties and had satisfied the court that they will not interfere with the ongoing investigations, nor endanger the public if released on bail.
Each applicant shall report in person once every month to both the Deputy Registrar of the International Crimes Division and the Chief Magistrate's Court of Butambala on the same day.
The court also imposed strict bail conditions, including a requirement that the accused must not leave the country without prior permission of the court.
Applicants who own passports must deposit their valid passports and all travel documents with the Deputy Registrar. So every last Friday of the month, you report to the Deputy Registrar at the ICD.
The 6 accused persons, however, were denied bail, and these include Kelvin Kayanja, Brian Sewanyana, Brian Mwanguzi, Ivan Akankwas, Chiwanuka Ramadan, and Brian Awol.
The court's concerns regarded the sufficiency of their relationship with the applicant, their moral authority over him, and their ability to account for his whereabouts.
They were directed to return to court on 13th July 2026 after securing substantial sureties.
We made an application for bail way back in April. It has been a concerted effort of the legal team, the party, but especially the people of Tambala. It is that commitment that has helped us, enabled us, secure bail, because lawyers alone would not really.
Prosecution alleges that Muhammadi Mwanga Chivumbi, together with the 22 co-accused and others still at large, committed acts of terrorism between 11th and 17th January 2026 in various parts of Uganda, including Chibi Town Council and Gombe Town Council in Butambala district. It is also alleged that their acts were intended to influence the government and intimidate the public for political or economic purposes. The alleged acts included attacks on Chididi Police Station and Butambala Electoral Commission Tale Center, destruction of sections of the Butambala-Gomba Road, damage of several motor vehicles, and incidents that resulted in the death of Sala Naiga, Aisha Nabukenya, Miri Nampereza, Luthi Nakanjako, Abdul Nur Musamo, Shafiki Miro, and Davis Basaliza. The accused are waiting to be committed to the International War Crimes Division High Court to start their trial. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nance Subuga, UBC News.
In more stories, the Office of the Prime Minister has delivered the first consignment of emergency relief food to Karamoja sub-region, where prolonged dry conditions have led to crop failure and food shortages. The European Permanent Secretary, Alex Kakoza, says that the consignment, which was delivered to the most affected districts of Kabong, started yesterday, contained 13 tons of maize flour and 9 tons of beans. Reports indicate that 16 people have so far died from causes associated with food shortages in Kampala district. Kakoza says that the OPM has also arranged another consignment of relief food for immediate distribution to the most affected districts requiring urgent assistance, namely Kabong, Kotido, Amudat, Napak and Morato. The Office of the Prime Minister will on Monday 13th July 2026 seek a cabinet approval for the procurement of additional emergency food relief for the wider Karamoja sub-region and neighboring districts. Take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, several parts of the country are currently experiencing a dry spell. And in Karamoja, prolonged dry conditions have led to crop failure and food shortages. Sadly, it has been reported that 16 people have died from causes associated with food shortages in the region. The government extends its deepest sympathies to the bereaved families and the affected communities. Yesterday, the 8th of July 2026, also the Prime Minister delivered 22 tons of emergency relief food, comprising 13 tons of maize flour and 9 tons of beans to Loduk and Loyoru sub-counties in Kabongo district, because Kabong is, I think, the epicenter of this disaster. That we did relying on the small stock we had from last financial year's budget. The Office of the Prime Minister has also arranged for another consignment of relief food for immediate distribution to the most affected districts requiring urgent assistance including Kabong, Kotido, Amdat, Napak, and Moroto. We are aware that the entire Karamoja region is affected, together with the neighboring districts. This afternoon I've got our Honorable Member of Parliament from Abim also reporting that they are in dire straits. So to cover the entire region, we have prepared to go to Cabinet to seek its approval for procurement of additional emergency relief food. We are very hopeful that Cabinet will look at our request favorably, and once they have done so, we shall proceed with a procurement of extra food to cover Karamoja sub-region and the surrounding districts in the area. Government recognizes the difficulties being faced by Ugandans that are experiencing food shortages, and therefore is taking urgent measures to support the families that are mostly in need of food.
Glad for the relief that's going to the northern part of Uganda in areas like Kamudat, Napak, Moroto, Kabong, and Kotido. Moving on, the Chief of Defense Forces and Senior Presidential Advisor for Special Operations, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, has commended the United States for its long-standing partnership with Uganda, particularly in military training, counter-terrorism, health, and regional security. General Muhoozi Kainerugaba made the remarks during a meeting with the acting U.S. Ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Mikhail Cleverly, in Fort Portal. The two discussed matters of bilateral cooperation and the tangible benefits Ugandans have gained through various programs in education, agriculture, infrastructure development, defense cooperation, and the strengthening of bilateral ties between the two nations. General Muhoozi also raised concerns over the continued travel advisories issued by the U.S. government, noting that they negatively affect Uganda's tourism sector, a key pillar of the national economy and an important source of livelihoods for many Ugandans. He reiterated Uganda's commitment to ensuring the safety and security of all visitors. In attendance were the Commander Land Forces Lieutenant General Kayanja Mahanga, the CDF, the Chief of Defense Intelligence and Security, Major General Richard Otto, and other senior officials. At least 10.2 billion Ugandan shillings has been earmarked for wetlands management across the country this financial year, with a target of restoring at least 13,000 hectares of wetlands. Under the program, each local government has been allocated 107 million Ugandan shillings from the 10.2 billion shillings conditional grant to support environmental protection and restoration activities.
Our environment and adapt to climate change. Government has allocated Uganda shillings 494.08 billion next financial year.
It is a commitment. Government has stepped up with an allocation of 494.0 billion shillings. It is allocated towards environmental protection and climate resilience. This is contained in the 2026-2027 financial year budget recently presented to Ugandans.
These funds will protect 1.26 million hectares of forest reserves and wetlands, restore 10,000 hectares of degraded wetlands, and demarcate critical river banks and lake shores, particularly along the Nile.
Of the 494.0 billion shillings, 10.2 billion is meant for wetlands management across the country. Wetland demarcation, restoration and protection has been allocated 50.5% of the 494.08 billion budget. Advocacy, public awareness and information management are the driving factors to strengthen community participation in wetland conservation. Also allocated 18.3% of the 494.08 billion.
President laboring, telling people the science of rainfall formation, the need to protect wetlands because they are aquifers, they do water filtration, they store water, they release water during the dry season, the biodiversity. So sensitization alone, we have allocated in the PIAP 18.3% of the budget will be going for that.
Infrastructure development, including establishment of eco-parks in urban wetlands, has been allotted 17.6%, and 13.6% has been set aside for research activities. These include the national capital accounts, assessment of the state of wetlands, and other scientific studies to guide policy and planning.
Is that we are trying to change the urban wetlands like Luviji, Mayanja, Bisina, all this Awoja, all these urban wetlands in all the cities, including Kampala. We are converting them into eco-parks. Eco-parks are for tourism purposes and recreation.
To boost the cause, each local government has also been allocated 107 million shillings out of the 10.2 billion shillings. This will support environmental protection and restoration activities.
Part of this money is also conditional grants to the local governments, the NR conditional grants. I want to inform Ugandans that the government has allocated to a tune of 107 million shillings for each of the local governments in Uganda. Also to look at issues of wetlands, to look at issues of forestry.
Among the wetlands on priority for restoration and protection include Muzizi, Mpanga, Rufuha in western Uganda, Lwanjali, Sezibwa, Mayanja in central Uganda, Aswa, Tochi in northern Uganda, Awoja, Lumbuye, Chibimba, Mpologoma, as well as those along Lake Victoria in eastern Uganda. The selection of these wetlands was based on the rate of degradation of their ecosystem.
We do what we call mapping of the hotspots, areas which are heavily degraded. So most of those wetlands that I've just mentioned, they are not doing well. There are a lot of areas that have been degraded, and we are going to respond to restore those areas. The other one also, we look at the importance of these wetland systems as far as biodiversity, water storage, and the retention is concerned, and the filtration and the storm absorption. So those are the parameters we consider in selecting these. We select in selecting these wetlands for restoration.
It is a priority alignment with the 4th National Development Plan and the Parish Integrated Agro-Industrialization Program.
NDP4, these are the focused areas of alignment to NDP4. So whatever we do in the budgeting and planning, we look at the National Development Plan 4. So in our National Development Plan 4, those are the key systems that we captured for restoration and management.
During this financial year, government plans to restore 13,000 hectares of degraded wetlands, demarcate 400 kilometers of wetland boundaries, develop and implement framework wetland management plans covering 6,000 hectares.
We want to ensure that those 13,000 hectares are fully intact. They are fully intact and they are functioning. The ecosystem services are functioning. We are also going to demarcate the buffer zones of all these systems, 400 kilometers. So 400 kilometers of those systems that I've mentioned, we are going to demarcate. That is alone, as ministry alone, minus local governments.
Nonetheless, government also intends to protect the country's remaining 2,245,740 hectares of intact wetlands from further degradation. Similarly, 300 wetland household dependents will be supported with alternative livelihood projects aimed at reducing dependence on destructive wetland activities.
People have been saying, you are taking us away from the wetlands. What do we need to do? Is there an alternative? So for those systems which I've mentioned, we are also going to support 300 households. 300 households with alternative sources of income.
Implementation will be supported through strengthened enforcement operations to curb illegal wetland degradation and encroachment, and developing joint framework management plans with the local communities to promote sustainable use of wetland resources.
So we guide the communities to develop a management plan and action, what they will be doing, all the stakeholders, what they need to do, both government, rural communities and civil society and other actors that they need to do. So we shall do 60,000 management plans across the country.
All these initiatives will aid the 5 years journey of improving the wetland cover from the current 9.3% to at least 13% hectares of wetland cover.
Our target in the NDP4 is to go to 10.3. By the end of this current NDP4, we should be at 10.3. So by 2030, 2040, we believe that we should be going back to 13 point something hectares or percent of the wetland cover intact of the country. So
the restored wetlands are expected to contribute approximately 0.4 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent towards Uganda's nationally determined contributions under global climate commitments.
Uganda signed the Paris Agreement, and we also have the nationally determined contributions to ensure that we minimize emissions of greenhouse gases.
To ensure accountability, implementation of these plans will be monitored through quarterly and annual performance reviews, field verification exercises, joint planning, and restoration operations. This will not be limited to program review meetings. Continuous monitoring of key performance indicators including hectares restored, boundary kilometers demarcated, households supported, and compliance with environmental regulations.
We are going to ensure that we continue to do monitoring and surveillance of the areas which we have already restored. We are going to encourage to sensitize the communities. We are also going to do awareness and also provide alternative sources of livelihoods.
As government rolls out these restoration programs across the country, the real challenge will be ensuring that the billions invested translate into expected results. Susan Naonga, reporting for ABC TV.
We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more stories.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mumutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya kusabula. Mikono juu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
Makerere Institute for Social Development, a certified institution for higher learning, invites applicants for certificates and diploma courses like accounting and finance, procurement, journalism, tailoring and fashion design, with many other skills-tailored courses.
Our institution is compliant. First of all, it is recognized by National Council for Higher Education. We are certified. The registration number is UBB 187.
Tested and tried since 1995, Makerere Institute for Social Development is your solution when it comes to quality education.
You may apply for January, May, August intakes. Find us along Sir Apollo Kagwa Road, opposite Makerere University Sports Ground. Our tuition is affordable with a state-of-art facilities. Early birds stand a chance to grab themselves bursaries. MISD or Makerere Institute for Social Development, facilitating your career.
There's a new way to keep your breath fresh all day. Introducing Movit All Day Toothpaste, meant to give you powerful night gum defense and teeth whitening. The charcoal flavor gives you deep cleansing and power stain removal. And the herbal delivers natural strength for healthy, confident smiles. Choose Movit All Day Toothpaste and enjoy freshness all day. Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We continue with our news tonight, and the government has warned that the global climate crisis is not yet to end soon. The Minister of State for Water and Environment, Beatrice Anyar, has implored the public to plan adequately for a longer dry spell due to the effects of climate change. The most hit sector remains agriculture, with the government calling for practicable water consumption initiatives. However, some members of parliament want the government to provide relief responses to the communities most affected by the impact of climate change.
The country has for the past months faced an unusual shortage of rainfall, causing what many have termed as drought in several communities. The northern and parts of the eastern Uganda are among the most hit.
We are worried about food security in our households. And when you look at the statistics from the region, from all the districts, you'll hear from the members of parliament from the region who will attest to this fact. It is very crucial that government needs to pay attention by responding quickly on provision of some relief food for the people, but also support us in the next planting season so that our people are able to pick up from there maybe.
The weather has changed drastically in northern Uganda. And weather change, I guessed, because of the massive tree cutting that were taking place in northern Uganda. You recall some time back, His Excellency the President issues an executive order to stop massive tree cutting. But those ones who are acting, they did not stop.
Despite the early warnings by the Uganda National Meteorological Authority and government, several farmers have continued to count losses.
I personally speaking, I'm a farmer, but I'm never affected by drought or any adverse weather conditions because I do all my agriculture in greenhouses and supplement it with water for irrigation using irrigation systems, modern irrigation systems.
The members of parliament asked for the government response. The Minister of State for Water and Environment, Beatrice Anyar, attributed the situation to the global climate crisis.
Partly due to the developing El Nino condition, that is warming of the sea surface over equatorial, central and eastern Pacific Ocean.
Uganda operates a two-season of planting ranging from months of March, April, May, and September, October, November to December. This has been altered with a longer dry spell. It is not to end soon. Water shortage is expected to continue, waterborne diseases, reduction of household income.
Here we are likely to have reduced crop yields, livestock stress, and chances of increased pests and diseases that thrive in warm and dry conditions.
Some members of parliament have found the minister's statement short of immediate solutions.
What we need right now is relief food. What we need right now is immediate action on how we can get water for production for Karamoja that is sustainable. For instance, we have a lot of dams that need rehabilitation. And for about 10 years right now, there is no dam that has been rehabilitated.
This one is a call to government that disasters or hard times affect the vulnerable more than us who are a bit capable. And this goes into planning of risk reduction in whatever we do. If it is agriculture, how do we integrate irrigation farming or irrigation to the common person down there?
The public has been implored to use the available food sparingly, as the warm and free condition is likely to cover up to the month of August.
Maybe we stop some, if we still have granaries like northern Uganda. And that's if we have the food.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Right Honorable Speaker and members.
Thank you so much, Daniel Mugoya. The tourism sector has taken stock of progress made on commitments agreed during the 6th biannual private sector CEO retreat as government and private sector leaders convened in Fort Portal for the Tourism Validation Workshop. The Tourism Validation Workshop engagement held at the Presidential CEO Forum Secretariat in Kololo reviewed implemented resolutions, identified pending priorities and laid the groundwork for discussions at the upcoming 7th biannual retreat. Take a look.
The 6th biannual private sector retreat was held in Fort Portal City, bringing together senior government officials, private sector leaders, development partners, and industry stakeholders to strengthen collaboration on Uganda's economic development agenda. According to the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Doreen Katusime, several recommendations adopted during the 6th biannual private sector retreat have already been implemented.
I have shared some of the achievements, for example, some of the roads that have since been worked on, some like the road in Kidepo, that some of the aerodromes that have been upgraded, like the one in Kisoro. We have looked at how we have improved our destination marketing through Uganda Tourism Board and through our missions abroad, through the economic and commercial diplomacy.
However, Katusime noted that a number of recommendations remain outstanding and require coordinated action from both the public and private sectors.
Some of the pending issues are especially to do with policy, but things that cut across the different sectors. For example, the tourism private sector has been complaining about multiple taxes and levies. They have been saying in total they pay about 26 levies and taxes. We have had several discussions between us, finance, trade, and in this coming financial year, there will be a new announcement.
The Presidential CEO Forum has since undertaken an assessment of the implementation of commitments made following the 6th biannual retreat.
We are happy to note that a number of them, when there is a problem, it is identified, and one of the gists of these platforms or the forum is to actually identify when we come to such discussions for the biannuals. It is for the key players and stakeholders to identify those problems that they are facing in the sectors.
Stakeholders emphasize that a sustained dialogue between government and the private sector remains critical in driving investment and improving the business environment.
So it brings on board a different kind of blend of the actors in the different field. For instance, if we talk about tourism, as you've noticed, it was not just Ministry of Tourism taking the lead, but also PCF being able to convene these different actors in creatives, in hotel, in tourist, in even other people who are playing a role in different activities.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Presidential CEO Forum Uganda, Sharon Kyomugisha, said the resolutions agreed upon provide a framework for monitoring implementation across institutions, while enabling stakeholders to benchmark performance and strengthen accountability.
What we do at PCF is have that live matrix. The live matrix was commissioned by the President in 2022 for where we plug in all the resolutions. Earlier on we mentioned that these resolutions are embedded or integrated into the NDP4. Meaning there's follow-up, meaning there's tracking of what is happening and what is not done. But also we have a live matrix which is under Ministry of Finance, which allows them to know how best can we allocate, which finances can go where.
The Tourism Validation Workshop brought together key government ministries, agencies, private sector leaders, development partners and industry associations to validate sector priorities and strengthen collaboration ahead of the next CEO retreat.
Improvements, you've seen our work at the equator in Chikorongo, and indeed yesterday we are unveiling a further development of that equator so that it's a complete stopover point. Many have been complaining there are no toilets, there's no restaurant. All those are now going to happen.
And encourage people to move who have the hunger and thirst to explore Uganda domestically by giving them a preferential rate. Surely, I looked at it, I'm not going to name the lodge because I don't want to scare other citizens. But so now within my powers, government, I said what I can do. Maybe I can provide a driver guide. I can help you with a vehicle. All this so that I subsidize private sector.
I'm Evan Juko and Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
Registration of people to participate in the elections for Administrative Unit Council elections is Friday, 10th July, and government has emphasized that there will not be any extension because it comes with financial implications. While presenting a statement on these elections at the floor of Parliament, the Deputy Attorney General, Kafuzi Karugaba, said that people registration must be done from one's ordinary residence.
The Deputy Attorney General, Kafuzi Karugaba, presented to Parliament a statement outlining the program for conducting Administrative Unit Council elections. According to the program, elections for village women committees will take place on 23rd July, while elections for local council 1 chairpersons will be held on 28th July. Through the statement from the Ministry of Local Government, with additional information from the Ministry of Justice, the Electoral Commission has issued comprehensive guidelines to be followed by all participants.
I therefore urge all aspiring candidates, political parties, organizations, voters and stakeholders to acquaint themselves with the relevant laws and guidelines in order to appreciate their respective roles and responsibilities before, during and after the elections.
The woman member of Parliament for Wakiso District, Betty Ethel Narima, and the woman representative for Ruchiga District, Slavia Alinaitwe, requested that the day for the Women Council elections be declared a public holiday.
Is it going to be like a public holiday? Can we be given time so to go and supervise? These are very important offices, and we shouldn't let them be done mediocre. We need to make sure that we have serious people on the ground to supervise the exercise.
The Electoral Commission at this on this fourth day replan how best they can handle the working population so that it is provided for and members are able to register.
General, we expected the members of Parliament to go and mobilize on top of, so is it possible to extend, or it might not be possible? Right?
Extension would have financial implications.
Some members of Parliament raised concerns over boundary disputes that are likely to affect the Administrative Unit Council elections, while others said some of their parishes and villages do not appear on the Electoral Commission's register. The State Minister for Local Government, Justin Namere, said the matter is being handled jointly by the Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Land.
The LC1 doesn't know where it belongs. So you find that it belongs. He finds that he registers the people from Abim and registers people from Napak.
The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development conducts a scientific survey to open the boundaries, while the Ministry of Local Government handles the community perspective of the conflict and public engagement.
Dispute between Intoroko and Kabarole in Nyamisingiri parish. Yes, there might be a border dispute, but the parish is known and the villages are unknown. So the elections in the village will take place and the election in the parish will take place.
Katikamu County South Member of Parliament Hassan Chirumira raised concerns that some public figures are intimidating people by telling them that the elections are exclusively for NRM members.
If we are believing in multi-party democracy, and this election is for all parties, why then are public figures threatening our people that this election is purely NRM?
No, it's not allowed. We are in a multi-party dispensation. We are holding the elections under multi-party.
Other issues raised by members included voting by people with more than one residence, affirmative action for people living on islands, the recognition and creation of new administrative units, and voting by students. I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Gwitavinji at Parliament.
The government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening its partnership with the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council as Muslim members of parliament renewed calls for greater inclusion of Muslims in public service and government development programs. The commitment was made during a courtesy visit by ministers led by the Vice President Jessica Lupo and the Muslim Parliamentary Caucus to the UMSC headquarters at the National Gaddafi Mosque in Old Kampala.
Meeting brought together ministers, members of parliament, religious leaders and Uganda Muslim Supreme Council officials to discuss issues affecting the Muslim community and ways of strengthening cooperation with government. While speaking on behalf of the Muslim Parliamentary Caucus, Deputy Chairperson Honorable Mpindi Bumali called for increased recruitment of qualified Muslims into government institutions, greater deployment of Muslims to Uganda's diplomatic missions in Organization of Islamic Cooperation member states, and the introduction of Islamic Sharia and Islamic theology windows within the parish development model and the MIOGA programs.
And among the things that we want to address is the issue of the Curve Court. We also want to see that there is an affirmative action in the government programs, especially the PDM, the MIOGA and the SACCOs, to bring in the concept of the Islam so that even Muslim can go and borrow money with no interest.
The legislators also proposed government scholarships for Muslim students through Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, pledged to support the Sharia Courts Bill in Parliament and committed to promoting peaceful coexistence and stronger partnerships between Uganda Muslim Supreme Council and Muslim communities worldwide.
Institutions of Islam, like the schools, the universities, that are founded by Islam, we shouldn't have non-Muslim spearheading the leadership of those institutions.
Kakuto County MP and Imam of Parliament Ismail Lubega Uthman, together with Uganda Muslim Supreme Council Executive Committee member Sharon Kyomugisha, welcomed the initiative, saying it would strengthen cooperation between Parliament and the Muslim leadership.
Appoint Muslim people in diplomatic missions, like those embassies. We should be given opportunity to serve there as ambassadors, other than sending people who are not Muslim.
Arises how Parliament is ready to ensure that in legislation, in oversight, it does not leave behind the Muslim community in their programs.
We have seen many organizations, many government parastatals and ministries where Muslims are not well represented.
The Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje, thanked President Yoweri Museveni for facilitating the land title for the National Gaddafi Mosque and Uganda Muslim Supreme Council headquarters. He also appealed for leadership training for Muslim leaders at the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi and proposed that future Mufti candidates should hold at least a master's degree in Islamic Sharia or Islamic theology.
His Excellency, we need a retreat of the leadership of Uganda Muslim Council.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Right Honorable Rukia Nakadama, thanked the President for supporting the Muslim community, particularly during the annual Hajj pilgrimage, and called for increased government support to Uganda Muslim Supreme Council.
We thought if it is channeled to Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, it should be known to everybody, and it is the center, it is the headquarters of all the Muslims.
Representing government, Vice President Jessica Alupo praised the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council for its contribution to education, social services, community mobilization and halal standards.
The global demand for halal certified products continues to grow rapidly, and Uganda is well placed to become a major exporter of halal certified meat and other agricultural products.
She reaffirmed government's commitment to strengthening cooperation with Uganda Muslim Supreme Council and pledged to present all the concerns raised by the Muslim Parliamentary Caucus to the President.
And he sent you greetings and asked me to return with a report of what I will find here.
Crispus Arinitwe, Jamil Sekaja reporting for UBC.
The UPDF Engineering Brigade has stepped up construction of Wapakabulo Memorial College of Nursing and Midwifery in Sironko District, a presidential pledge aimed at expanding health worker training in the Bugisu sub-region. The multi-billion shilling facility is expected to address the shortage of health workers and or to improve access to quality healthcare services in Bugisu sub-region. Take a look.
Wapakabulo Memorial College of Nursing and Midwifery in Mafuru, Sironko District is gradually taking shape as construction enters a critical phase. This project is yet another example of the UPDF's role in national development and its contribution to building the country's infrastructure.
This structure, it is an administration block. We have many structures that are coming up, but basically in phase 1 we started with the administration block. Whereby the administration block, this is the entrance of the administration block because our reception is here. Internal plastering, we are at 98% because as you see the whole of this part is already plastered. We are just waiting for the next phase of painting and other activities that can follow after the plastering.
The 47 billion shillings project is part of the government's plan to expand health training institutions and increase the number of workers across the country.
Have an expanded joint in between. Then when we come to the western part, where the principal's office is in the ground floor, it has 3 floors. We have the ground floor, the first floor, and the second floor. So it looks a bit different, but it is the design.
The Wapakabulo Nursing and Midwifery School is a big project. Its total cost is 47 billion. Now, of this, it has the following works to be done. It covers the administration block, which is in phase 1. It covers the external works, that is the fencing of the land. It covers bringing water and electricity, that is utilities.
The college is named in honor of the late Wapakabulo, a former Speaker of Parliament and Foreign Affairs Minister, whose contribution to Uganda's diplomacy remains part of the country's history.
And we don't want to disappoint our Commander-in-Chief because he has really spearheaded us and he has given us all what it takes, and he had his vision right from time ago when he formed these construction units, and he co-located all divisions in the construction unit, implying he had a vision early on so that we take on most of these projects. So by assigning us such works, and we shouldn't let the big man down. We have to work hard and ensure we deliver project first of all timely and of quality and really as expected and in harmony with the wananchi and the social services available within the area.
Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Sharon and Tessa. The Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nawakoba, together with the Minister for the Presidency, Millie Babidi Babalanda, has intervened in the land dispute involving the 323.5-acre estate of the late Luben Muyombia in Bamungaya Village, Buikwe District. The meeting brought together family members, local leaders and the investor to establish the facts and agree on a lawful and lasting solution.
The dispute concerns the 323.5-acre estate previously leased to the Shore Corporation of Uganda Limited before the lease expired. Some of the late Muyombia's children later sold part of the land to Chinese investment company Simbaland. He said they legally obtained letters of administration authorizing them to manage the estate. The grandchildren, represented by Aisha Naluze, maintained the sale was unlawful because the deceased had already distributed the land through his will.
Wateesa enkulaakulana ejje mu kitundu famire yasalawo okutunda ettaka eryo erya polotisiini bulooka 313 liguzibwa mu China. Kirawo kino bw'okisoma jjajja nnyinnyonnyola nti Muyombe akata notisi n'essatu eririko metta n'ebbiri eziriko payogot yazigabanga buli ploti abaana yabawa lubuto.
Simbaland's lawyer Chigundu Paul Salongo defended the company's purchase, saying all legal procedures and due diligence were followed. State Minister in the Office of the Vice President and Wikwe District Woman MP Diana Mutasingwa called for fairness, condemned land brokers and urged thorough investigations.
waliwo abafamire abazzukulu n'abazzukulu abatataaganya bannaabwe kubanga abasinga bonna bali naffe era bwe batuguza nga ba administrator.
That nothing is going to be done on this land until both the families come together and the issue is solved. Having the investors is very good, but you also want to have an investor in a safe environment whereby there is no land issues between the families. As the woman member of parliament, security should come in and help the people. We don't want to see faces in this area.
Minister Judith Nabakoba directed that the status quo on the 323.5-acre land be maintained until investigations are completed. She ordered both parties to appear before her office next week with all relevant documents for verification before government reaches a final decision.
naye mu meeting eno tewaliwo kyamakulu kye tuyinza kujjamu. Bwe tunaamaliriza okuba nti tunoonyereza ne tutuuka kukkaanya era tujja kuba tukomawo okubawa alipoota oba okudda ku ttaka okusinziira ku bye tunaaba tusazeewo n'abakulu ba family n'abalala abeemulugunya ku ttaka eryo.
The Minister for the Presidency, Mile Babiria Babalanda, condemned acts of violence, unlawful actions by some residents, and misconduct by security personnel, saying the incident prompted President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's intervention.
Kakati ensonga eyo yaleese obuzibu kubanga President Museveni bw'agiraba n'agamba tukiramu waliwo omuntu atafaana naffe muddugavu gwe baatuuzizza wansi ne bamuggyako ebintu byonna.
The dispute brought together Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development Judith Nabakoba, Minister for the Presidency Mile Babiria Babalanda, Minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs Minsa Kamanda, and State Minister in the Office of the Vice President, as well as Wikwe District Woman MP Diana Mutasingwa, to engage the family and guide efforts towards a peaceful and lawful resolution.
The Minister of Local Government, Balam Bargahara, has arrested 5 school administrators in Bale District on grounds of misappropriations of government funds channeled into their schools arising from ghost teachers, pupils, and soliciting for funds from learners under the guise of school fees in government institutions. The arrested have been picked from Naiko Primary School, Nabumali SS and Bongeni Army School. Balam also issued an arrest warrant for Naiko Health Center in charge, who upon his visit to the center wasn't traceable.
The Minister of Local Government, Balam Bargahara, has entered the second day of familiarization tour to Eastern Uganda.
On payroll, how many are they?
On Thursday, 9th July 2026, Balam kicked up the day with a visit to Naiko Health Center free.
We have so many people. Hospital are well equipped, but out of 19 staff, you have 2.
Here, the minister almost had no one to usher him in, as the senior in charge of the station had become a visitor at their own station, with the staff stammering about her last presence.
Now it's 9:46. How many staff are present?
Only 5.
Yes, please.
Disappointed. Government pays 19 staff here, but by the time we arrived at 9, only 3 people had reported, and the others are not there.
Just adjacent to this health center is a government center of learning of Naiko Primary School.
And why I'm here, I'm not here to take tea.
A brief introduction between the minister and school head teacher captured a number of teachers and learners.
Would I be wrong if I say you have 3 ghost staff here?
No, sir. I had to make it and give you the
hold on.
Pupils, I have 1,352.
Acting in suspense, Minister Balam then embarked on a class-by-class hit count of learners.
7, 8, 19, 20, 33, 45, 46. He said 184. 184, you have 105. You'll tell me where the other numbers are.
The results were contravening the head teacher's reports, a move which facilitated confiscation of could-be exhibits from the school. It is estimated that the government is likely losing 14 million shillings per term, totaling to 52 million shillings per year.
The government is losing how much per term?
14 million, 93,648.
The inappropriateness in data led to the arrest of Mabonga Perez, the school administrator.
We are going with you to the district. Okay.
Still in Mbale district, Mr. visited Navumali Senior Secondary School. The absence of the head teacher, however, did not stop this trip.
Receive money for special needs? No. You don't?
Here, the school was also subjected to the same standards of investigations.
Let's count from here. Start 1.
However, during the assessment, there was a contention about the report by some students who claimed to be paying school fees, yet they are studying from the government facility.
Government school. Why are you not on government? That's what I want to know.
They are registered in UNEB. They are technically knocked out of the use.
The mismatch in the school stocking data for both learners and students led to the arrest of the deputy head teacher and director of studies at Navumali Senior Secondary School. Bumangeni Ame Primary School acting administrator was also picked by Minister Balam Warugahara. Later, Balam interacted with Mbale district leaders who convened at the council chambers.
The current acting DO
Great work done there by Honorable Balam Bargahara, who has arrested a couple of people known to be misappropriating government funds that are channeled into their schools, ghost teachers and students that don't even exist. His government has committed over 10 billion Ugandan shillings to upgrade community access roads across the Acholi, Lango and Teso sub-regions to improve rural connectivity and supporting economic growth. Now, the construction is expected to begin next week after the Ministry of Local Government signed contracts with local construction companies. Take a look.
Community access roads will be upgraded across 9 districts under the first phase of Rural Development and Food Security in Northern Uganda project funded by German government.
So today, what we are signing is the first batch of roads that we are going to work on out of 3 batches. So this is just the first work. So there will be a second one and the third batch. But for ease of implementation, we decided that we do this in batches.
The agreement signed between the Ministry of Local Government and the local contractors paved the way for construction to commence next week.
We are happy at the Ministry of Local Government because we have just signed a contract with 9 contractors who are going to do around 139 kilometers of roads in the districts that are in 3 sub-regions, Teso, Lango and Acholi. There are 3 districts per region, and these roads are going to support production and productivity value chains.
The investment is expected to strengthen transport networks, improve access to markets and reduce the cost of transporting agricultural produce from rural communities.
It's very, very important because this one talks to PDM, Pillar 2, it talks to support for local development, it talks to the socio-economic transformation agenda, and therefore we are happy as the Minister that we are contributing our brick in stewarding and spearheading this effort that is going to help the people of Uganda in the Teso, Acholi and Rango sub-region.
During the contract signing, contractors were urged to deliver quality work, meet project timelines and ensure value for public resources.
So I only told them that they cannot exceed the contract, no variation for money, no variation for contract period. I've also told them there should be monthly site meetings and where we can discuss if there are any challenges and we resolve them. But we're not going to accept anything outside the site meetings and the framework as put in the contract. Thank you very much.
Joseph Okow and Teko Sumaya for UBC.
The Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited has embarked on installing medium voltage covers to address different causes of power disruptions across its distribution network. Now, the installation exercise has commenced on the Waligo 33 kV power feeder, which is connected to the Kawanda substation. The major causes of these interruptions has been identified as birds and surrounding trees.
After realizing that some power outages are caused by external interruptions affecting electricity infrastructure, the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited has piloted the installation of medium voltage covers to minimize such disruptions.
We are installing what we call the medium voltage line covers, material that we are going to use to insulate the conductors, and also install what we call the bird interrupt covers, material that will help us ensure that as and when the birds sit on the structures, they do not get electrocuted.
At the Waligo power feeder, which is connected to the Kawanda substation, marble stocks have been identified as one of the major causes of interruptions on the 33 kV evacuation line, resulting in power disruptions to consumers served by the feeder.
For over about 4 months, we've been experiencing frequent outages, and our numbers show us about 5 outages per month that are related to birds. As you can see, the area here has a lot of garbage, and garbage attracts marabou stock. And every time they are leaving ground and going to rest in their resting areas, they interfere with the lines, and then power goes off.
The distribution company has installed medium voltage covers and bird protection covers to not only prevent power interruptions, but also protect the birds from electrocution while improving electricity reliability.
After restoration of power in the evening, the birds will no longer be dying, then power will not be going off because of birds. So we are sure power will be stable at Waligo substation, and the on and off that we've been experiencing and the intermittent supply will stop at Waligo substation.
Other sources of interruptions include trees that grow close to electricity infrastructure, and in some cases they compete with electricity poles.
This project was pushed to ensure that we improve reliability at Waligo substation. That is, when these birds fly into the conductors don't crash, and at the same time, we don't lose the wildlife, the birds, we don't lose them.
When a large bird perches on an energized crossarm or transformer and spreads its wings, it can simultaneously touch a live conductor and a grounded piece of equipment, causing a fault and subsequent power outages. Abdunasili Lubwama and Rogers Komhagum for UBC.
Despite hosting more than 230 refugees alongside thousands of Ugandan nationals, many residents in Adjumani district continue to face difficulties accessing affordable loans and formal financial services. To expand business, investing in agriculture and improving household incomes. To bridge the gap, Vision Fund Uganda has officially opened its branch in Adjumani, bringing financial services closer to refugees, farmers, women, youth and small businesses.
Chief Executive Officer, Vision Fund Uganda, Mercy Sande Kyomugisha, said the new branch demonstrates the institution's commitment to promoting financial inclusion.
So Vision Fund Uganda is part of the global network that is really strong in driving financial inclusion across.
World Vision Uganda National Director Jeremiah Nyaga said the organization has served Ugandan communities for more than 4 decades and believes Vision Fund will strengthen family livelihoods.
Vision Uganda has an ambitious plan for the next 5 years, 2026 to 2030, of reaching over 5.1 million children.
Remain in school and complete school and find opportunities for work. That's the message that the music we want to keep singing in this area of Adjumani.
Representing the Office of the Prime Minister, Pauline Abina, said declining humanitarian funding makes economic self-reliance increasingly important.
And one of the drivers to self-reliance is financial inclusion. So I want to congratulate Vision Fund for this step and your commitment to work with that.
ensure that you have a very conducive landing to all the refugee settlements.
Vision Fund Uganda became the country's first financial institution to offer dedicated refugee microfinance services in 2019, making a significant step towards improving access to financial services for both refugees and host communities across Uganda.
The Equal Opportunities Commission has referred to the High Court Division, Civil Division, a case in which 28 former Chambogo University students accused the institution of awarding them a qualification that differs from the course they were admitted to study. They fault the university for going mute on the matter, 6 letters going unanswered, insisting that the university enrolled them under unaccredited knowingly.
For 7 years, Haruna Mwanguzi and 27 others have been trapped in unemployment. In 2017, they were admitted to Chambogo University to study physical education and sports management. But upon graduation in 2019, they were offered transcripts which had sports management. They contend that despite writing to the university at least 6 times, seeking correction of the alleged error, no action has been taken. The graduates further claim that efforts to seek intervention from the National Council for Higher Education have yielded no solution.
We were not at all informed, because now if the university says it informed us, I can say the university admitted us into physical education and sports management, and this is the admission letter. The university can provide nothing because they did not tell us. They never disclosed anything to us at any point of time. And it was discontinued thereafter, meaning the university targeted us because we were the only cohort that was admitted for this particular program.
They say the mismatch has cost them employment opportunities over the past 7 years, with several employers reportedly rejecting their applications.
I have lost so far 4 opportunities to go on a payroll. But whenever I take my documents, they say that the documents, they are not for teachers.
We trusted Chambogo University because when they said you will take this at the end of your program, whatever they teach us is what we trust them. They are the experts. So we trusted Chambogo University, but we didn't know that they were defrauding us.
Ejo ensobi yakorwa academic registrar ibaruwa nebagamba tubadimitinze ku diploma in physical education and sports management. Nebagamba baana bano nti eno program tetugirina. Program je tulina eri diploma in sports management.
Following a petition to the Equal Opportunities Commission, Senior Legal Counsel Samuel Madaba confirmed that the matter has now been referred to the High Court Civil Division, where the former students are seeking damages.
We found that their complaint, they are seeking general damages from the university and other people, other officers whom they contacted and have not helped them. So we recommended that the matter goes to the High Court, which is best suited to award general damages, and a referral was generated on the 30th of June.
Crispus Arinitwe reporting for UBC.
The government has launched a safety and legal compliance campaign targeting artisanal gold miners in Namayengo district, following growing concerns over workplace accidents, illegal mining and an unsafe handling of hazardous chemicals. The 4-day exercise, led by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development together with other government agencies, seeks to promote safer mining practices, environmental protection and adherence to mining laws.
In the gold-rich areas of Namayengo district, artisanal miners are being urged to prioritize safety and comply with mining laws as government moves to formalize small-scale mining activities. The sensitization campaign, led by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development's Department of Occupational Safety and Health, brings together officials from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, NEMA, security agencies and other stakeholders.
We have had the team, and it has taken us through the criteria of how you acquire a license and naming all the categories of licenses to our people and see how they can upgrade from the illegality into being legal.
Officials say many miners remain exposed to workplace hazards due to limited knowledge of safety standards, especially in handling chemicals used during mining.
The process of getting the license has not been, completed as expected, and hence we are having an illegality of having miners that are leading to a series of issues within the Mayingo.
This initiative is part of a wider chemical safety program aimed at promoting responsible use of chemicals in workplaces and ensure mining activities benefit communities without compromising lives or the environment.
So we call upon government to carry out more studies into the most applicable options to mature use. For example, what they have just talked about, using the magnet system.
The Police Minerals Protection Unit has warned against illegal mining, urging miners to obtain licenses and operate within the law.
The laws in mining include Mining and Minerals Act 2022, regulations 2023, policies and guidelines.
Authorities have also raised concern over child labor in mining areas, saying the campaign seeks to promote occupational safety, environmental protection, workers' rights, and sustainable mining practices.
In more stories, cancer continues to pose a growing health challenge in Uganda, with thousands of families affected by the disease every year. But beyond the statistics are stories of courage, survival and hope. The Rotary Club of Kampala Platinum President William Odot says that his club is joining the fight against cancer through its annual cancer run aimed at raising awareness, supporting patients and contributing to prevention efforts.
As cancer cases continue to increase in Uganda, communities and organizations are intensifying efforts to complement government interventions in prevention, treatment and patient support. The Rotary Club of Kampala Platinum is using the annual cancer run to raise awareness, mobilize resources and give hope to patients and families affected by the disease.
Rotary has seen that cancer is a very serious health problem. And one of the reasons why cancer becomes a very serious health problem is because many people do not get the issue detected early. So once a problem is not detected early, it goes from one state to the next. It becomes very difficult to cure. So cancer has become a main challenge across the board.
For Sandra Bate, the immediate past president of Rotary Club of Kampala Platinum, the fight against cancer is personal. Diagnosed with cancer in the early 2020s during the COVID-19 lockdown, Sandra's journey has been one of resilience, faith and determination. She is now using her experience to encourage others not to ignore their health.
I want to thank God that took me through the journey. What I learned from this journey is that there was a lot of hope. I had resilience and family support. The support function is very, very key in this cancer treatment or the cancer journey, because without the support system, you are totally left to, to nothing.
For Sarah Kajigo, a member of the Rotary Club of Kampala Platinum and a lived experience cancer advocate, cancer has touched her life in many ways. Having cared for cancer patients and experienced the loss of loved ones to the disease, she believes awareness and early diagnosis remain some of the strongest weapons against cancer.
Artificial intelligence enabled PET-CT scan can detect cancer at cellular level. Now that is very transformative. If Uganda can have those capabilities, that's diagnostic capability, of that technological advancement in.
The parent is Tuliahewa Dixon. And the child is Ani Tuliahewa Esther.
Kambera gwete Kyomugisha ngo ishe watuyahewa Esther wahangura school fees ngene na hateja shana amashemerwa gonka MTN momo eberewo mbeni nyegasta igana kaga ni 5 star 80 hash kushashura mwana school fees takoma nyo musheri zagwije wanje ninga nchaka ngwasa kuzo wawe mwebare munonga.
Going out without a fear, stepping out on every rock. I'm making my world just like I always wanted. Living further and beyond, growing up every day is the goal that I made up for me. That's why I believe in you. It's gold, and that's why I'm always looking for you. It's gold, that's why I believe in you. It's gold, and that's why I'm always looking for you. It's gold.
They share an office. Some work in the day, some at night. What they have in common: focus, dedication. That's what makes them champions. They also share something else: the reward of being one. The official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Every life begins in a moment like this. Certain, planned, full of promise. For us, it's a bold ambition to make lives better. Because somewhere, someone is stepping into a world of work for the first time with the confidence that their retirement is taken care of. We make dreams possible. From owning homes to scaling businesses. And when health takes an unexpected turn, help is there when it's needed most. And because legacies matter, what people build does not end with them. It's passed on. We value moments with go-getters, bold dreamers, and believers. Different paths, different rhythms, with one shared belief that financial freedom is within reach. For 40 years, we've made lives better and fueled Uganda's economy. Through careful investments, we have supported businesses, created jobs, and backed our nation. To us, it's more than saving. It's believing in effort, in patience, in possibility. It's making lives better. We believe in you, in us, and in Uganda.
NSSF, 40 years of making lives better.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. From the business desk, government ministries, departments and agencies have been asked to prioritize Uganda Telecommunications Corporation Limited UTEL services as part of efforts to strengthen the state-owned telecom company. This call comes amid concerns over mounting debt, obsolete infrastructure and limited network coverage despite UTEL's strategic role in advancing Uganda's digital transformation. Take a look.
Minister for ICT, Justin Kasule Lumumba, and State Minister for ICT, Joyce Namposa Sebugwawo, continue with familiarization tours to the agencies under the ministry. The two ministers have paid a courtesy visit to the Uganda Telecommunications Corporation Limited to assess the company's progress and its role in delivering telecommunication services across the country.
You remember, this is our original
agency that was in charge of telephones.
In WIOC, it invested $3.9 million. That was in 2022. It's the biggest cable for internet, right? So today, as we speak, the shares that we have, that money has grown to $39 million.
UTEL is mandated to provide reliable connectivity, extend communications infrastructure, and contribute to national economic growth. The company currently operates 16 service centers nationwide, with its network covering 35 districts.
And what happens, because people have options, no one is going to take up your line and use it, telling them Kampala it's working for the Ugandans, but for us, the patriotic Ugandans here, we shall take them up. No one will take up Kampala, it's working, but when you go in Kapchora deep down, it will not work.
State Minister Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao urged ministries, departments and agencies to prioritize UTEL services to support the government-owned telecom operator.
We are going to make it, to ask the government to make a directive that all ministries must use UTEL. No matter what small they are, let's use it so that from there we can collect that little money.
How come you have not?
However, UTEL continues to face challenges, including obsolete equipment and outstanding debts that have slowed its expansion in the competitive telecommunications sector. UTEL Chief Executive Officer Magilu Twama revealed that the company has liabilities amounting to about 120 billion Uganda shillings.
In terms of the license, which government committed to pay for, and the spectrum.
The deficit with the UCC, the 120 billion, this has been consistently appearing in their books of accounts. And maybe we might have to sit down again. The fact that all these agencies are under us.
Those are your brothers. OSTA, UCC, you are one. They are your brothers.
And UBIS.
And UBIS. All of them, all the agents are your brothers. So we want everybody to be happy.
Can we have a meeting, at least even if it's 30 minutes a week, and we put our brain into this?
Uganda Telecom requires over 198 billion Uganda shillings to realize the 2026-2030 strategic direction of network expansion, fiber infrastructure, technology modernization, digital services infrastructure. Now, in the return for investment, all these will increase customer connectivity, increase revenue, and as well increase or enhance government digitization. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Ask them where are you, they're working with.
The fourth edition of Power and Electricity Expo has officially opened to the public, and this follows the official launch of the three-day event at the Uganda Manufacturers Association Multipurpose Hall in Lugogo by the State Minister for Minerals Development, Fiona Nyamtoro. Mary Akurut has a detailed report.
Local and foreign exhibitors alongside energy sector experts have converged at the Uma Multipurpose Hall in Lugogo for the 4th annual Power and Electricity Expo to showcase cutting-edge and greener energy solutions aimed at transforming Uganda's energy landscape. The three-day exposition was officially opened by the State Minister for Minerals Development, Fiona Nyamtoro.
Our responsibility is no longer simply to increase electricity generation or extend transmission lines. Our responsibility is to ensure that energy becomes the engine that accelerates industrialization, creates wealth, improves productivity, generates decent jobs, and transforms the lives of our people.
The expo features innovations in power systems, electronics, and renewable energy technologies designed to improve efficiency, sustainability, and energy access.
The global agenda of energy access for all will be achieved. The solar technologies are here, wind-powered technologies are here, and we shall continue to link these technologies to the distributors up-country.
Today, Power and Elect Uganda stands as Uganda's largest and most focused international exhibition dedicated to the power, electrical and renewable industries. This achievement has only been possible because of the tremendous support we have received from the government, government institutions, industry associations, exhibitors, sponsors and our valued partners.
Uganda has made significant progress, growing its installed electricity generation capacity from approximately 380 megawatts in 2005 to more than 2,094 megawatts today.
Let this expo become more than an exhibition of products. Let it become a catalyst of investment. Let it become a marketplace of ideas. Let it become a platform where technologies find markets, where partnerships are forged, where industries are conceived.
As Uganda's economy continues to expand, demand for energy is rising rapidly, making it imperative for the country to stay ahead of future demand through investment in generation, transmission, and innovative energy technologies. The Uma Multipurpose Hall in Lugogo is once more hosting the Power and Electricity Expo, an annual event that showcases new innovations and technology in the energy sector. Mary Akrut for UBC.
Small and medium-sized enterprises are the backbone of Uganda's economy, but for many entrepreneurs, access to finance loans remains a challenge. To address the matter, the NCBA Bank unveiled a new business banking proposition aimed at helping entrepreneurs not only to access capital, but also gain the knowledge, mentorship, and market opportunities needed to grow sustainable businesses.
For many years, Ugandan entrepreneurs have viewed banks as places to borrow money. However, at the launch of NCBA Bank's new SME banking proposition in Kampala, the message was different. Businesses need partners, not just lenders.
It's important for everybody in the organization to know where they are going, and they must be part of designing that. So we've designed the business coaching around that. What comes out of that is really a strategic positioning vis-a-vis the competition.
The initiative introduces financing solutions alongside free business advisory services, mentorship, enterprise development programs, and digital banking tools designed to help businesses grow. NCBA Bank says the goal is to simplify banking while helping businesses become more competitive.
These challenges require more than just banking. They require a partner that is committed to unlocking this opportunity, and that partner is NCBA.
The bank has also collaborated with enterprise development experts to offer free training in financial management, governance, tax compliance, succession planning, and sustainable business growth.
One of the biggest problems we face as business people is consistency. So when you come onto the program, we ask you to be serious, to be consistent, to stay the journey. Actually, businesses which succeed do not succeed because they don't have problems like other people, but they are consistent, they are persistent, and they stay the course.
Speaking at the launch, Ebo Mwesigwa, the Chief Executive Officer, Kasita Uganda, said the biggest challenge facing many businesses today is not necessarily the lack of money, but knowing how to use it effectively.
The business community has now become a very big target ground for fraudsters, conmen, for everything. So confidentiality has now become very sensitive. When you come, you want to know how my business is operating. Now the next thing is, where is my information heading to?
The new proposition offers unsecured business financing, invoice discounting, education loans and asset financing. New customers will also enjoy 6 months of free banking transactions and zero loan arrangement fees, while loan applications will receive feedback within 48 hours. Nals Bawini reporting for UBC TV.
Yes, hello.
From the sports desk, the Kampala International Future Badminton Series has officially served off at the Lugogo Indoor Stadium, bringing together players from different countries in competition that runs until Sunday, July 12th. Now, however, this year's edition has been affected by the Ebola outbreak, with only a handful of nations making the trip to Uganda after several countries pulled out over health concerns. Despite the setbacks, Uganda, alongside Rwanda, Israel, Kenya, Benin and Nigeria are battling for honors as the tournament gets underway in Kampala.
I'm very happy to be here at the International Para Badminton Tournament in Uganda. We were originally supposed to host 26 teams. Unfortunately, only 5 teams have managed to come as a result of Ebola. But I'm very happy that the International Federation and the government of Uganda have allowed this event to take place, because it shows the world that Uganda is still safe. But I'm very happy that the National Federation has been able to organize an international course for countries that do not have para-badminton to start getting into para-badminton. And to have 40 athletes from 5 different countries here is really, truly special. And I'm very honored to be here to open and launch this event here at Lugogo Indoor Arena. I think it's important that more of these events are held. One, to increase participation of people with disability. I think it's very important to have a very inclusive policy, and I'm happy that the IF is able to sponsor this. I'm happy that the National Federation is able to put on such an event, and we get more people involved in sports, and in particular para-badminton.
Okay, this is my second time coming to Uganda to play the Uganda International Para-Badminton. The last time I came was in 2019, and in 2019 I won a bronze medal in men's singles, silver in doubles, and another silver in mixed doubles. It's been a long time since I came. That's around 7 years now. This is my second time coming to this tournament. I'm very happy that I've won a gold medal, different from what I won in the last tournaments.
I come here in Uganda, in a champion for para-badminton. I'm a wheelchair para-badminton player. So it's my first time here in Uganda to play badminton. I was participating in Nigeria para-badminton. So I'm very happy for that. In order I think I will get an experience about para-badminton from today and tomorrow and the next year. I will be better, I believe it.
Today I'm here and pleased to have participated in the Uganda International 2026 series. It is of great pleasure that we have so many countries that turned up, though not to the expected countries according to what we normally have in the previous years. We would be expecting 40 to 50 countries, but because of Ebola, they were reduced to about 20 or 15 countries, which is a very big disadvantage to the players for those looking for points to the qualification of LA 2028.
And that brings us to the end of our bulletin today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight. Do join me again tomorrow, same time, for the 8 p.m. and the 10 p.m. bulletin. And you can as well stay tuned for more programming coming your way, including soccer, one that's loved by everybody. Good night.